All right, next we're going to talk about some tools that I'm going to put under the general heading of gauges, which is basically stuff that you use to measure things, just tools that are kind of assistants. So they're not probably cutting anything or fastening anything, but they're getting you to the point where you can do that. So we'll start off with a measuring tape. Everyone has probably seen one of these. Basically, it's got your numbers on it that mark in the inches. You might also have centimeters there. Got measures this time. So there you've got your measuring tape. I would recommend getting one that is bigger. This is one that came with my small toolkit. I like this one better because it has a better standout. Standout is defined as how far measuring tape can go out without collapsing all the way out there. So this one has a better standout because it's got the wider blade there, and so it's not as flimsy. And you can get ones that are even wider than this, and they can reach very far indeed. So a couple cool features of the measuring tape. This little part here at the end is a little bit loose. You can see that, and that is on purpose. That's because it collapses if you're doing an interior measurement like that, and then it expands by the same width by the width of the little piece there, if you are doing an exterior measurement. So let's say you want to measure from this side like that. We've got, looks like roughly 1.5 inches, maybe just a little bit short of that. But if you're doing an interior measurement, it butts up against that and collapses so that you can still get an accurate reading. However, a lot of times when people are measuring, they'll do what's called sacrificing an inch and basically just start at the 1 inch mark to get an accurate reading, and then you can just subtract that inch from your overall reading there. So that can be also a way to get a good reading with a measuring tape. They are marked in specific locations. So it's marked at the foot, but it's also marked at 16 inches. Would you have any idea why they are marked at 16-inch intervals? So you've got 16, 32, 4 feet. 64.
Depending on how far your dad wants you from your boyfriend.
Good guess. That is not the standard reason. The standard reason is that in most U.S. households, the studs are spaced 16 inches on center. So that is because most panels of drywall or sheetrock come in widths of 4 feet. And so by spacing your studs out at the 16, 32, 4, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 studs and have a surface to screw that on the edges so that it butts up. The pieces will meet each other on a stud. So that is the common reason why they are marked at those locations there. So, fun little fact there. So that is your measuring tape. You can also lock these into position using the little locker there, and that makes it stay in that position so that it doesn't retract on you. So, great tool. Next we have a framing square. You use this for making right angles. So anytime you need a 90-degree angle marked, you pull out your trusty framing square. This is also marked with inches, although this one is pretty corroded. And so, yes, it came free with my house. But you can't see the markings all that well, but they are there. So it's got 1 inch, 2 inches, and so on there. So you can also use it to measure things as well. If you need a right angle and you don't have a framing square, do you have any idea how you might construct one?
I do not.
Okay, well, you can use the Pythagorean triangle and measure 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches with your 3, 4, 5 triangle, and you can construct a right angle using that without a framing square. So that's a little trick in case you ever find yourself without one of these and you need to make a right angle. Next we have a level. So a level combines the self-leveling properties of water with a straight edge in order to tell you if something is flat to the ground or not. So we see the surface right there. You can see we've got this little bubble right here, and if it lines up between the two black lines, then we know that we are flat. Or if we turn it this way, we can also check plumb. That would be straight up and down with the little bubbles there. So if we can get those lined up right in between there. So that is your level. You can use that, say if you're framing a wall or something, you want to make sure that it's straight up and down. And you can also use it as a straight edge to mark things. So if you need to cut a straight line or something like that, you can scribe along that with a pencil in order to make a straight line. Then we've got our chalk line. This uses the principle of gravity in order to check for plumb. So a lot of times you put like a heavier weight on here and that would help it to stay straight. But you can put this up against the wall like that. Wait until it stops swinging. And then go ahead and put a finger for me on the end of that.
Here?
Yep. Okay. And if I hold it and stretch it tight and then snap it like that,
oh my gosh.
we've got a line on the wall. It will come off, don't worry. So that is a chalk line, and that's a great way to mark straight lines. And you can even do it not necessarily in a plumb scenario, but let's say you want to mark a piece of drywall just as a straight line from point A to point B. If you just stretch that string tight between those 2 points, then you can, it's a quick, easy way to make a straight line.
I think this is my favorite tool so far.
It's a pretty great one. So also it makes your hands blue. So fun bonus feature. Then we have a hole gauge. So this is one that you can use to see if you got the right size hole for something. So let's say you want to drill a hole for wire to pass through. You can test this with your wire and say, oh, look at that. It looks like it can go through about a 9/64 hole. And so then you could match your drill bit up with that to make sure that you've got the right size there. So that's a fun extra one. Probably not super necessary, but it's a freebie. Sometimes it's included with some of your basic toolkits. So there's that. All right.